Good morning, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Safe Collaborate session. Thanks for taking your time out on a Friday, whether Friday morning or evening, based upon the time zone you are located. So, to start with Collaborate, earlier it used to be called as a weave, continue weave. And now the Scale Agile acquired and started bringing that as a Collaborate, as a tool, collaboration tool, as the name itself is mentioning. When we used to do a in-person classroom session, we used to do all the activities, including the PI planning simulation or any team level activity, or whether it's for the leading safe or the safe practitioner or safe scrum master, everything we used to do in person using the sticky notes, the flip charts, whiteboards, and everything. The moment the lockdown or the COVID came into picture, everything went virtual, online, remote. The way how we are doing the session of discussion. Then Scale Agile team, they started bringing a remote aids into picture to help us as an SPCs. So the March 2020, when the moment the whole world went into the lockdown, the remote training aid came into picture for the version 5, where it used to be like a PPT version. So we used to create a multiple copies of the PPTs, and we used to say, hey, group A used to use this template for the PPT, and then group B, group C, like that. We used to create various copies within our SharePoint or Google Drive, whatever is relevant from the client or the engagement perspective. We used to follow that. Then that's where the virtual classroom started coming into picture. So the Collaborate, the Scale Agile team started bringing the Collaborate as a collaboration tool, not only for the Scale Agile training sessions, but for the regular day-to-day deliverables as well, like for the retrospective or for the sprint planning or the any other team level or the release train level, even the portfolio level activities as well. So once we start going to the Collaborate, we'll take a look at the templates as well. So there's a brief background about where or how the Collaborate started coming into picture from the usage or the implementation perspective. So today's session, we will do the two activities. The first one is like how we can use Collaborate for safe training sessions, because most of us are SPCs here. So that's what we will start taking at how to create the course, how to start creating the templates and everything. Everything is just a click away, nothing to do manual intervention, just we need to set up the configurations and everything will be done. So the next thing is like how to make use of the available templates within the Collaborate. So then we can have a Q&A session. We have William as well along with us, so we can start discussing how we can make use in our own context, whether it is for the training or whether it is for the regular day-to-day deliverables and everything as well. Okay, so let's get started. Any questions before we get started?
We are good.
Okay. So once we log into, so let's start with the first session, the first point of the discussion and the agenda, like how as an SPC, we will start making use of it during the safe training sessions. So we all know that we will go to teach. Once we log into the community portal, we will log into teach and then course admin. So this is where all our existing courses or the upcoming courses will come into picture. So what we have to do is ideally, typically before the COVID coming into picture, we used to do as a public course or a private course. So most of us could be the in-house SPCs within the organization or within our client engagement. So we typically used to go for a private course. But if we are working or if we are collaborated with any of the training institutes or the coaching engagement institutes, that's when they used to go for a public course. But now, if we want to start making use of these Collaborate templates, we should choose this remote private course. The third option, the new option coming into picture, the remote private course. So once we choose that remote private course, then all the learning plans, so everything else, most of the template or the course creation template remains same, except for a couple of additional options coming into picture to get the benefit of the remote course. So to show the leading safe, I'm just taking one of the course as an example. So the leading safe, I'm choosing the learning plan and I'm giving collaborate test. And yes, by default, it is coming as a remote course. The dates, we have the option to choose whenever is the start date and end date. It need not be the same date as today, right? So most of the cases we are doing the course, so we are creating the course well ahead, at least in the virtual way, so that the participants also can start getting the benefit out of it. So I'm just being a dummy course, I'm just creating some of the details. I'm not just going through that. So me, I'm working with the Teradata. I'm just giving Teradata as a company name. Nothing to do with that. And then the language English and Hyderabad. So these all comes as a typical course creation. So nothing new until now. Okay. Once we create the course and once we click on save, that's when the collaborate templates will start coming into picture. Will show on the course once it is created. Okay, so the course got created. So this is the collaborate test as a course. As soon as it is created, it started coming into picture and the page got opened up. So here in the top, if you see the safe community class page, we got a link. So this is the default link. As we choose remote private course, the safe community class page started coming into picture. So we will discuss about it. Just we will go through a little bit of additional topics in the below of the course. Then we will come back to this community class page, what it is about. So I'm just scrolling a little bit down. And this is where the setup class activities is a new option coming into picture. And add safe collaborate activities. This is the option which we as an SPC should choose to be able to use the collaborate templates. So the typical terms and conditions agreement, the scale agile coming into picture, the copyrights and everything. So I agree. Okay. So here is where the collaborate producer. So who as an SPC should be getting the producer access to start making use of the course collaborate templates. By default, the recommendation from Scaled Agile is to have 2 SPCs for the virtual remote training sessions. Some cases, in-house sessions, we are able to have 2 SPCs. Some cases, we need even 3 SPCs or 4 SPCs based upon the course, based upon the number of participants coming into picture. But right now, I'm the only SPC. I haven't added a section instructor. That's the reason only my name is coming into picture. But otherwise, if we added all the instructors, provided they clear the enablement and everything, all the instructors' names will come into picture here in the collaborate producer. We can choose, need not be us every time. So let's suppose like Durga Prasad is collaborating with me as a co-trainer. So I can choose his name or someone else's name so that like they can also be the producer instead of the person who is creating the course. So for now, I'm going ahead with my name. Then I agree. Add collaborate activities. This is the one step we have to do. The moment we did this, we got the collaborate administration link, which means we as a administrator or we as a SPC who was taking the course will start making use of this administration link. Okay. So any questions till now? Are we good?
I think we are good, Satish.
Yes.
Sure. Thank you. So once we close that, the page will get refreshed and the admin link and the class link, 2 links will come into picture here. So we can start using those 2 links to communicate with our participants. Then the next recommendation from the Scale Agile, again for the virtual remote sessions, is to add the roster 1 week before as a recommendation again. So we all know a lot of logistics and our internal things coming into picture. So need not be every time we might be able to create or upload the roster of the participants for the course even before the start of the class. So in that case, we can still go ahead and make use of this, even though the participant need not be having a Scale Agile account, but still we can go ahead and make use of, let them participate in the collaborate activities as a participant. So they will be just getting a participant access. They can still go ahead and participate. Okay, so now I would like to show the community class page, what it looks like. Once we click on the link, a new tab opens up, and this is where ideally this is the link which we will start using to communicate with the participants whom we rostered into the session, if in case we were able to go ahead and do the roster even before the start of the session. So this is the default email which will be published or which will be sent to the participants. Hey, welcome to the class timings, the start time, instructor. And for the participants, this is the activities link. And this is where they can directly download the digital workbook for the PDF for the course, which they can start referring during the session. Okay. So once we click on this collaborate activities link, that is where now we are starting connecting to the collaborate as a collaboration tool for the sessions. Okay, so every collaborate session will have a 9-digit forum ID, which is like a session ID. So as soon as we, I created a course called as a Leading Safe 5.1. So all the activities required for all the chapters will be available as by default. The moment we choose the Leading Safe, all the lessons, lesson 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, each and every lesson based upon the course, based upon the version we choose, everything will get started, will be by default created, nothing to do from our side. No need to replicate, no need to create copies, no need to reset the templates, everything is taken care by the collaborate itself. And here we will be able to see how many participants are there. Right now, I'm the only participant because I haven't shared the forum ID with you guys. So we will start sharing that, and we can also join so that we can do some hands-on as well to see how the collaborate, if in case you haven't started using it or you want to get the feel of how to use the collaborate, we will start doing that now. Then again, going back to the admin. So this is the participant view. Now, being an admin, what is that the additional access which we'll be getting by using the administration link? So if I click on the administration link, we will get some extra options or extra access to set up how many groups we would like to choose and who are the participants, what are the settings, the configurations which you want to use for the session. We can start using it by the admin link. So the participant link will be different. They'll be getting only the participant access. But as an admin, as an SPC, we will be getting an admin access. We will be having the option to set the attendees, add any additional activities if anything is required, and manage the groups. So how many groups we would like to create? Let's suppose for my upcoming Leading Safe, I am expecting some 20 participants, for example. So I might want to split them into 4 groups, 5 members each of 4 groups. So I will go ahead and I will add 4 groups. So 4 groups created. So earlier there is no delete option, but no, Thanks to Collaborate team, they brought this delete option as well. So we can rename the groups and we can make sure to the participants, once we start the breakouts, they can join which group they belong to or which team. We can rename the group names anytime during the session or even before the session. And one more thing is the shared facilitation. So as we discussed, there could be a couple of SPCs, or sometimes even the participants also, we might ask them to play the role of a scrum master or a coordinator during the session. So we can turn on the shared facilitation. So not only the producer whom we choose during the collaboration creation, even additional participants, additional SPCs also will be able to do the configurations, like configuring the item types or the dot voting or the timers. Timers is again one of the new concept brought into picture. So all these things, even the additional participants or the additional SPCs also will get access to, so they can start making use of it. Okay, so I just created 4 groups. So let me copy the URL. So how we as an SPC will share the Collaborate URL to the participants. So just come here, click on copy, or from the Collaborate classroom link as well, we'll have the Collaborate link. We can share any of it. So let me share the Collaborate link. Yes, is it, am I audible? Is the connection fluctuating?
Sometimes the voice is breaking.
Okay, let me try to see if I have any other.
It's breaking in between. It's
In
not,
between.
it's not a continuous break.
Okay.
Like in between it's.
Yeah, but
Okay,
we are
okay.
able to make out what you are telling us. I mean,
Exactly.
it's still working.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah, thank you. So I am just sharing the Collaborate forum link, so we can start joining. You can use your own Scale Agile portal, Scale Agile profile, or you can use even your personal email ID as well. It is up to you. Just you start joining the forum so that we can start doing some hands-on. In the meantime, let me try to fix the connection issues if anything is. Okay, I am back. I connected to a different hotspot. Let's see if this resolves the issue. Okay, so as a admin, I could see how many connected or who all the participants are available. Dayline need not be. They can create their own profile even before attending the course. Sometimes we are having the challenge being the in-house session, like the participants are dropping off or not continuous making sure for all the sessions due to COVID or due to some other emergencies coming into picture. So what we are doing is we are asking the participants to register. They don't need to be having a Scale Agile profile for participating in any of these Collaborate activities. So need not be for the session. It could be for even for any templates. So let's assume I'm a Scrum Master or I'm an Agile coach. So I'm running a retrospective session or I'm doing an inspect and interrupt. So need not be the participants of the session should be having a Scale Agile access or the Scale Agile profile. So the collaborators is coming as a separate access, so they can create their own profile and they can still able to access it.
Thank you.
Welcome. So now we are all on the course agenda page. So as we can see, and you can see like 12 people are here. So as a admin, we will get to know where we are or how the participants are. So let's assume like we don't want to go through each and everything. So some will be like the classroom specific, like here as you see the join, we will get to know whether it is a classroom session, which is a classroom in the sense of common for all the participants, or whether it is for a group discussion or like a team activity. So let's assume if we go for becoming a lean agile leader, assessing a lean agile mindset. So here, if you see, we got all the 4 groups. So that's how like as an admin, I created 4 groups. The 4 groups started coming into picture. So now the moment once we set up the context of the session activity, what this activity is about, and this is about the house of lean. So once as an SPC, we will go through the house of lean concept and we can set the context. Guys, now we will start breaking into the breakout rooms, whether the Zoom, Cisco WebEx or MS Teams or whichever tool we are using. We can set the context and we can split the participant into the groups. Whether they want to choose their own group or we are doing it automatic, it's up to us, up to the session, how we want to. But once they start, they will be able to connect to that specific forum of that group and they can start having the discussion and having the conversation. So this is how right now I am at the group 1. So this is the house of lean activity coming into accessing the lean agile mindset. This is how we can start doing the activity. So now just again for doing a practice, if you want, we can split into the groups, the breakouts, and you guys can start accessing this, the 2.1.2 activity, and we will see how you as a participant can start easily access the content. Shall we go ahead and do that?
Yeah, let's start it, and maybe we don't need to complete the complete activity. But
Yes,
starting
just to see like how easy or how quick it is to start working on this collaborate tool. It's nothing to do with the activity as such, but just getting hands-on. Okay, so now as we have the template, so let's split into groups. Let me initiate the breakouts. I am creating 3 groups for now, just the time being. And based upon the group number, you can go to that specific group 2.1.2 and just click on that and just play around the template. Okay.
Can you so you are using Zoom's facility for the breakout, but
Yes.
prior to that, do you need to do anything in this group 1, group 2, or are you saying that when we get into breakout, we decide that we are in group 1 and we should,
Yes,
all adopt to that? Okay.
that's it. I'm not doing anything. So I just created 4 groups using the collaborate admin access. Let me, and so now, so here
So we have to use the link that is sent in the chat.
That's correct. Yes. So as a admin, I created 4 groups before as I created the collaborate activities. But now during the session, I could see only few participants. So I'm saying, hey, let the 4th group be as is. We will just split into 3 groups. So whoever participant belongs to group 1, they will click on this group 1. Automatically, you will redirect. Then group 2, group 3, group 4. Let it be. That's fine. Nothing to worry about it. Right? So we are not doing anything specifically based upon the which group or which room they belongs to. They can choose their own group and they can start connecting to this activity. Okay, so I'm opening the rooms.
Sure, Satish. Yeah, thank you.
Welcome back. Yes, everyone is back to the main session. Okay, so anyone want to share how the experience is? Who is accessing the Collaborate for the first time?
So this is Mayuresh. My name is Mayuresh. I was working with Roma and a couple of other, Savita, a part of that. I think the experience is pretty decent. First of all, I liked about is the automated way of publishing the topics, as part of the overall group, as a part of the overall course, and then eventually, making use of this. So the facilitator or the trainer need not to really remember what needs to be done. You can
That's true.
collaborate between the presentation or the workbook and the collaborate very easily. That is something which I find it pretty interesting. I'm using it for the first time now. Couple of things that we discussed about randomized shuffling of groups that teams allow. So I heavily use teams and this is something which is pretty manual and can't be randomized. That's what my understanding is. Probably people who have used it significantly or have experience with it can share their thoughts.
So sometimes from our side, right, what we do is like we will let the participants choose which group they want to. Need not be the same 6 or 7 participants for each and every activity. You would like to shuffle them as well. So using the Zoom or using the Cisco WebEx, we will let the participants choose which group or which room they would like to join, so that they will get to know every other participant and they will have different perspectives, different views as well coming into picture. So then let's assume for this 2.1.2, I'm in group 1, but for 2.1.4, I might be joining in group 2. So I will go ahead and click on group 2 as a participant. So that way we can let the participants also choose which group or which room they would like to join. So no need for us to let it done from outside as well. Again, it is up to the trainer and the participants coming into picture, how we would like to have the session. Need not be the fixed groups. That option is also there. So if you see the attendees, that option also is available if you want to fix the participants to the group. But typically, I don't prefer as an individual. See, here we have all the, as you guys already started at connecting to the forum, all the participants' names are coming into picture. So either we will choose which group, which participants belong to which group, or let the participants choose on the fly. Need not be fixed groups every time. Okay. Does that answer your question, Mayuresh?
Fixed group. If I want to run, yeah, partly yes. This was about randomizing the participants into different for a better collaboration.
Yes.
So that is something which is manual, if I understand.
And if you are using Zoom for breakout rooms, then you have to match the participants in that breakout room to these groups. Right?
Any of the learners can join any of the groups. So if you did want to randomize it during the class, people could change and edit or view what other groups are doing. So I think you could randomize it and people would just change their numbers as they go along.
Yeah. So that is a manual process. So let's say in some, if I wish to join group 2, but most of the participants join group 2, then it becomes like too many people in one group, or probably if the number of participants are higher, then that kind of concentration will have to mix and match to have the balance between all the groups. So that's what the thought was. It's not something, but that can be taken care as part of the course agreements.
Yes, Mayuresh. So within the Zoom, again, that is coming from the Zoom as a tool perspective. So within the Zoom, when we are creating the breakouts, it will ask how many rooms you would like to create and how many participants per group. So that setting, initially we can set it up. And the first option, allow participants to choose room. By using that, we can randomize or we can let the participants choose. The moment if we set 6 members as a per room, automatically the 7th person won't be able to join group 1. So that option, that limitations or that flexibility is there within the Zoom as well.
Okay. Thanks, Satish.
Sure. So that is about all the, like, this is how we can start making use of the templates for each and every course. Almost every other course is now available on the Collaborate. So only thing is we need to just add the Collaborate activities as soon as we create the course, and then share the forum ID, that 9-digit link URL which I shared with you as a participants. So you can share it, and the participants will be able to create their own profile, even though they don't have a Scale Agile access or the profile for the first time. They can create their own profile and they can start connecting to the session and take part and be in the participation list. Okay, so that is all about then we have this shared facilitation, number of groups, everything is coming from the course, the safe trainings perspective. So are we good? Any questions or any doubts, anything you would like to discuss? Or William, you would like to add any points from your side?
I think so far good, Satish. I do want to check, like last time when I checked on the PI planning part, right? The PI planning activity was not, we didn't have all the features. For example, how do we estimate? Like whatever we give them in the Excel, all of those things were not available in the Safe Collaborate. So have they done any changes around that?
I'm not sure, maybe William can answer that.
Well, so I think what you're showing here is how you can import the features. So there is a spreadsheets where you can import those, and not everything is estimated because part of the activity is for the teams to estimate the remaining activities, but some of them are estimated in there, or you could add estimates if you want to have them estimated ahead of time.
But there was no column for the estimation in the Safe Collaborate. I mean, you could do it in the inside the description, but essentially if there could be a separate field where people can see, like the way you see it in Excel, right? It added that maybe the estimation part. I understand that that's too much to probably automate, but at least it should be shown as a separate field.
So William, this is the point.
Yes. So Collaborate, thank you for the feedback. Collaborate can't do that yet because it's we kind of designed it as more of a general purpose tool. But so right now it goes in the description. But yeah, I'll mark that down as something maybe to look at in the future.
Yeah, maybe not the adding of it, but even if it can come as a separate text field, right? Even then people can add up, because it's not a very heavy exercise. Just for the training purpose, it can be easily used then.
Thanks.
So the reason, William, the reason is what happened even in couple of our sessions is, so we asked the participants, say the first story or first user story is not estimated, go ahead and do the update. So they end up overwriting the text content or something instead of updating the size exactly there. So sometimes instead, if we go and have a separate column or separate text field as an estimate, that way it will be easy. Like the way now we have item name, item description, item type. If we can have a separate column or separate field, that could be somewhat easy from the training perspective.
Yeah, I mean, whatever fields you give us in the Excel, you give us have item type which you already have it, right? Estimate was a separate field. I understand totaling of it will take time, maybe a couple of iterations. Fine, don't do that, but at least give us a separate field for that.
Hey, yeah, thanks for the feedback. I'll have to check with the team.
Sure. And one more point from my side, William, is like for the PI planning, I gave it as a feedback as well. In the simulation, PI planning simulation, the program board is not added. So we have to go and add it as a manual side from as an admin. We have to add the program board explicitly just to showcase during the PI simulation as part of the training sessions.
Sure. Thanks. Yeah, a lot of people do that. I don't know if you want to show that, but if you click event info, yep, there's a green plus button there. So if anybody's teaching a course and you want to add in your own activities or add something like the program board, since in Leading Safe it's not part of the learning activities, but I know a lot of people like to show it. You can just add any activity you want there by pressing that plus. Yep.
Yes, this is how we are doing it right now. But in case, if possible, again, we know you have your own backlog, your own priority list. But if it is possible, that way it can help. Not only us, like all the SPCs, right, who is doing the sessions. We know that this is how we are using it, that it is a groups or it is a classroom common session. So we are not using as a group. So we are creating. So guys, again, this is how we can add the extra. So now if you see the program board which I created, it is not a group specific, it is a class, which means it is common for the whole classroom, everyone coming into picture as a one single template. So that's how we can add any additional activities if required. And we can delete it, what are the templates extra we added, but we cannot delete or overwrite any of the existing templates which came as part of the course by default.
But are you saying that if I ask like 4 teams to create their, add activities, etc., the SAFE program board will show all the activities on that one program board?
Yes, that's what we would like to have one common
group.
program board for the whole release train, right? So we just want to create as a one, not a group level. It is a classroom specific, which is like common for all the participants together.
So by adding it as an activity, it is doing that thing,
yes.
right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. That's not a big trouble for me to add it as an activity.
Yes.
I can do that.
we are doing that from our sessions. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe just for the PI planning, we want to take a separate session.
Sure. Next time we can plan PI planning simulation. Definitely.
Okay.
How do you add let's say stories and features into the board? Maybe if it's something for PA planning session, we could do that. I'm more used to using PAplanning.io, so I'm just trying to understand how it works here.
Sure.
With collaboration.
Let me quickly show that. So this is how one of the group, again, it is one of the group coming into picture. So here it is items. Import items is what by using this we can import the Excel template which we have. So right now I already have the backlog downloaded. Let me give that quickly. Yes, I'm choosing all the items. Import. So again, one of the thing is everything is coming as one single corner. So maybe again, William, this is one small feedback. Again, if possible, can we move them into separate items or like in a line within the backlog? Initially, I used to get confused, why only one story came into picture, but everything is getting overlapped on top of one another. That's one observation. So otherwise, this is how the stories come. We just need to do a little bit of manual work here to make sure all these stories are displayed on the backlog. So here, this is what the story name, the story description, and the size. This is what we discussed just now, is coming within the description. And here we are seeing the feature number as well. So once the team starts planning, they can pull the stories into iteration 1, iteration 2. And here we have the option for capacity and load as a text box separately. So we can do that as well. And within this, we have the PA objectives in the risks. So we can add as a items, the business value, actual business value, everything, including uncommitted objectives. So this is a team charts for one of the group. The same way, each group will have their own backlog, their own team charts. So based upon the priority or based upon the features, again, this is just for the simulation, right? So based upon the features which we assign or which the teams pick up for their own simulation, they can import the backlog and they can start working on it.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Javier here. Thanks for arranging this session. My quick question is, in case I want to use this platform for various safe training which I'm taking, so is there the template what you just said for leading safe, like is it available by default or do I need to purchase it, or how does it work?
It's available by default when you create a course as a leading safe. And when we add, we created the course as a leading safe, and as a admin, I came down and I added safe collaborate activities. So based upon the course, based upon the version, we choose to create the collaborate activities. Automatically, all the activities per chapter, per lesson, per topic, everything is getting automatically created. So nothing to do manually from our side, except for creating the how many groups we would like to use. That's it. And does it answer your question?
Like, so got it. Okay, thank you.
Okay. And one more new concept which was added is the timer. So I forgot to mention when we did that activity. So here we can create the, we can add the timer. So the moment when we start the timer will start running. So that even the participants will get to know as they are working on the activity, they will get to know how much time is still left out for that specific activity. So this is one of the new concept, the new functionality brought into picture as part of this collaborate.
This is wonderful.
Yeah, so that way participants not only looking at as and when they are looking at the screen, they will get to know, okay, how much time is still left out. So this we can mention. Obviously, with the breakouts, automatically they will be coming back to the main session. But sometimes we end up hearing, hey, I haven't observed how much time is left out, or we are still in the discussion. So to address all those, we can say we can set the timer per activity, stating that, hey, now you have 2 more minutes left. So you can come. You need to come back after 2 minutes is done.
This is interesting. So if you set it once, it will show up on all groups, is it?
I hope so. William?
Yes, yes it, yep, it shows for all the groups.
All right,
okay. Thank you. Thanks for clarifying that. We tried that, but I haven't checked with my participants whether it came for all the groups or not. But we did it last week when we did the advanced commercial session. Thanks. Okay. Now, let's move to the next topic. We spend most of the time in the classroom discussion itself, which is relevant, which is valid. But the other thing is the templates. Along with the classroom sessions, we can use it for our own individual team level activities as well. Like see the story splitting. So this could be an individual activity, or like developing a story map or feature storming. It could be anything. Right now we have 68 templates available. So if you're not aware, just come and search here with the template name, and we will start getting all the templates available for the retrospective or the story mapping. What are the concept, what are the activity you would like to do? So you can start using that. And the same thing again, once we click on that starting the event, a 9-digit forum ID will be created, which we can start sharing with the participants, and we can the participants can start getting connected to the collaborate template, and they can start participating in that. So this also, as and when possible, we are asking Scrum Masters or the coaches to start making use of it, so that it will be getting, we can make use of the collaborate not only for the training sessions, but for our day-to-day activities as well.
But can I then export these things, because my team won't be coming back here? They might get confused, right? So if I want to
Yes.
keep it, let's say in Confluence or some common place, is there export available?
I'm not sure, William. That question is for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, so you can export if you go to one of your finished events. You can export the spreadsheet, or you can export an image. Or
Okay.
the event is always there, so you could always have a link that you put in Confluence to link over to it.
Oh, William, can you help us like how to do that? The link?
The link, it would be the same. When an event is done, it goes into review
Oh,
mode.
okay. Once it is done. Got it.
Yep.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. That's
So
about.
one question. So should the team members have access to the community portal to see this? Like, or if you just share the link, they'll be able to access this?
They should be able to access even without having the access to community portal. So we know like not everyone is renewing, or not everyone is getting certified for what are the reasons, various reasons, various things coming into picture. But we as an SPC will be definitely having access. So we just need to share the forum ID. So they should be able to log in using their own access. They can create their own email using email ID and password. As a participant, they can still participate and get the activity done. But if in case they have the community access, they can also start using the templates for their own discussions or their own team level things.
So in nutshell, the template creation or the starting, you need to have access to the community portal. But in order for other people to access, they can use any email address. They don't need to have a safe collaborate necessarily.
That's true. That's correct.
I used my email, which is not on the, registered on safe. The good thing is that once I do it once, next time whenever I enter using my personal email ID, it recognizes me. If I use my collaborate, it recognizes me from that also. So I can have 2 separate passwords for my 2 separate emails.
That's about the collaborate from my side. Any questions or anything, or any questions for William? Thanks, William.
Oh, my pleasure. And if anybody has questions, if anybody has questions later, there is 2 forums on the community. There's remote instructors and remote events. So you can always ask your questions there, and I'm in there, and others folks, and we'll be happy to help you, or you can reach out to me directly or our support team. We're here for you.
Sure. Thank you, William. Yeah, we are looking forward to adding more features into the PI planning, because that's where I see more. So see, from the training perspective, I think this portal is now good. We can use it. I mean, but for the actual PI planning, I still see that there are a lot of things. So I'm a story point, but that's something which we can look forward to. Yeah. But thanks, Satish, for bringing up new points. Last time there were few things, but yeah.
Sure. Anytime. Okay, that's it from my side. And unless we have any questions.
Has come afar.
Thank you so much, Satish.
Thanks, Satish.
And hope you can provide the feedback so that like we can bring in more topics as well.
Sorry, missed that.
Any feedback? How is the session, or any additional topics which you'd like to discuss? One of the things we got is a PI planning simulation. Yes.
Sorry, Satish, your voice was breaking.
Yeah, this is breaking.
Okay, now is it clear?
Much better.
Much better.
Okay, I'm asking like what could be the next topics which you are interested, so that we as a community, we as a group can come together and do other sessions. Okay, thanks everyone.
Mm,
Have a
mm,
This is breaking, Satish.
Probably we can discuss.
yes.
On the group, our group.